Good evening and welcome to Delish TV. Tonight we're going to make a ceviche. There's a lot of different kinds of ceviches. It's a really very interesting concept. A lot of Spanish people claim that they were the first ones that came up with it because they needed to have a way to not get scurvy on the boats. And that's kind of gross to talk about. And they had a lot of citrus and fish, and then because the citrus pickles the fish, so they didn't need to use heat on the boats, etc. The Polynesians say they were the first ones. There's a lot of different methods out there. I've combined a couple of flavor profiles in my ceviche out of just simply the things that I like. So there's a little bit of Peruvian in there, a little bit of Mexican, and a little bit of another Latin area, and it again, everybody claims that it's theirs. But the whole art of ceviche, which is really cool, is, as I said, is the citric acid, and the most widely used one is lime, cooks the raw fish and kind of pickles it. I have also added shrimp to this dish. I would recommend, if you're going to do scallops or shrimp, that you cook them for about a minute and a half, the shrimp at least, just because of the nature of the different types of things that shrimp can have, and I just highly recommend that you do that. And also the other fish I'm using in this one is grouper. Another really good one to use is red snapper, tilapia, any of those type of fish, and make sure that they come from a reliable source. And I got mine at the Whole Foods, that you know that it's a good seafood place and that it's really pretty fresh. And you start with that. And so I did a half pound of each. And what I did with the shrimp is I did a 4160, but I cut it into pieces, not very big. And the fish about the same. I cubed it. I cut it with really sharp scissors and cut it into small pieces. And you just want that probably the size of a thumbnail, yeah, would you say? And so that would be my recommendation on how you do that. And then the rest of the assembly is pretty easy. I used about nine limes, and then I used you can use either fresh lemon juice, which I always carry organic fresh lemon juice. I used about 1/4 cup, or you can squeeze fresh lemons if you want, but you want the juice to completely cover the seafood completely, and you make sure to turn it a couple times and then put it in the refrigerator. And the important thing is you cannot use aluminum around this product. The citric acid will not perform properly. It has to be a glass or stainless steel bowl. You can use plastic, but again, I'm saying that you would rather use a glass or a stainless steel bowl. You'll get the optimum cooking out of that for the seafood. And so you leave all the lime juice. I added to this one a teaspoon of salt in there when I was letting it cook in the juice, and I did a little bit of garlic. Total of 6 cloves of garlic is what it's called for. I, who like a lot of garlic, say if they're large cloves, you might go more like 4 or 5. So I used one large one in there, and then I'm going to add the next little bit to that. And then I've got a purple onion. Some of the recipes call for white. Again, if you've watched any of my things, you know that I prefer purple onion. I think it not only is prettier in the dish, it has a little bit better flavor for these more tropical kind of dishes. And then tomatillos. I used 3 tomatillos. They should be in your grocery. They look like a little green tomato with a little wax over it. If you cannot find tomatillos in your part of the country, then use a seeded green tomato, probably the size of a plum, and that's about the size you want. You want about 3 that size in your recipe. And then what's interesting is when you do start looking at a lot of different ceviches, as I was telling you, the Peruvian use Scotch bonnet peppers or habaneros. Cubans use Scotch bonnets and habaneros also. And they've been known to add mint instead of cilantro, which I'll be adding to mine. Okay, so I've used some serrano peppers. I like a little heat in mine. So I got 2, but again, if you don't like a lot of heat, 1 is plenty. I just like it mixed in there. And so that's what oh, excuse me for the noise. I'm a little noisy tonight. And then I used a pretty good handful of cilantro again, so that it came up to about 1/4 cup chopped. And so that's what I'm adding in there next. And again, this is really easy. You don't have to use these exact ingredients, or you can add some cucumber to it. You can add some bell pepper to it. There's a lot of possibilities to add into this. And like I said, you really can't go wrong. It's just a fresh kind of a relish dish that's got a lot of the island influence or the Spanish influence. Every Spanish group, Panama, Peruvian, the Cubans, and that was the red tomato I just put her. I used a whole tomato and chopped it small. They all have their own recipe for the ceviche, and this is just looking fabulous. I don't know if you can see this, but it's just looking really nice and fresh. And then I would probably let this set up about another 15, just kind of let it ruminate into juices. And right before I put it in there for 15 minutes, I'm going to do a pepper to taste, kind of eyeball it, and then go with that, and probably just a little bit, just like a dime worth of some salt, and I'm using sea salt. And yes, I did wash my hands because I was cutting the pepper earlier and my hands are still on fire, so you can be rest assured that they are very clean because I washed them 5 times to try to get the heat off of there after all these years of sticking them in contact. You think I would know how to do that. A really nice way to display it is either, you know, to put it into a bowl with lettuce. We're going to pretend like it's already marinated so you can kind of see. Which is always really nice, a little leaf lettuce, so they can have a little bit of a little salad actually going. Or another very popular way, you could add the avocado to it, but you know, avocado tends to break down really quickly. So I would recommend cutting the avocado in half and serving it inside the avocado. It has a really nice look also. You could go ahead and take the peel off that. Anyway, that's pretty much my ceviche. Again, it's pretty easy. If you have any questions, please leave them on the comments. I did double check. You would probably want to eat this pretty quickly. Some people say they lasted as long as 6 days. Anytime you get a seafood that's been cooked with a citric acid, I would not want to keep it more than 3 days. You want to serve it very cold. If you're going to make it the night before, I would only do the portion where I was showing you the marinade, and you could have things chopped, but I would add those right before you went over. And again, do not use any aluminum products on it. Thanks so much, and glad that you tuned in to Delish TV. Have a great day. Bye.